Adding up in double time. James analyzing every line. Paul's out of sync, but they don't care. Three minds tangled, but they're always there.
Hello and welcome to Psychic Cinema. I'm James. I put an essay on it. Paul has watched it in the wrong order. And Colin,
I've probably not seen it.
how are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Yourself?
I'm okay, mate. Like I was saying to you in the chat, I had to take my car for a service this morning. It took me an hour to walk back to my house, so honestly, it's unbelievable, man.
Should have taken the USS Callister instead.
There you go, mate. Exactly. But no, I'm here. Obviously, it's a holiday for us both. Week and a week off work to try and chill and recharge the batteries and whatever. So we'll do that, mate. We'll do that. And of course, as we do that, we will start continue with the podcasts and try and churn them out as much as we can. So a wee bit of housekeeping then. So you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and the Facebook pages. One day we'll get onto the Facebook pages.
Yeah.
You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify for creators, Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, Castbox, and any other place you can listen to your good old podcasts. We're also part of the Podpack Collective, a group of indie podcasters trying to make a difference out there in the big bad podcasting world. You can go and check them out on Twitter. I'm sure they're on Instagram as well, but if you go to our Twitter page or just check out Podpack Collective, you'll get a link to all the good pods there.
Just realised I didn't have my mic in front of me.
I didn't even notice, mate. I didn't.
Just wanted to say we're on 213 subscribers on YouTube now, so we're progressing nicely towards that 225 target by Christmas. We've had a good wee boost over the last week. So yeah, if you enjoy this episode or if you've enjoyed previous episodes, then please consider subscribing. We're on our way to 300 subscribers.
Oh, 225 first of all, mate. Let's no jump the gun here.
No, 225 is the target by Christmas, but we're on our way to 300. That's still accurate too, I'd say.
Oh, of course. But 225 first of all. Let me shout out to What's the Script, a Glasgow-based podcast. Their latest episode was Brigsby Bear. I've nearly finished it, actually. I'm coming to the end of this, getting the scores. Never even heard of the film before. So they do a thing where they do a viewer's choice, and I've threw my hat into the ring as well a few times. Big Trouble came up. I couldn't make it on the pod. I think you have as well, mate, with a couple of films as well. But somebody on their Facebook pages had recommended Brigsby Bear. I've never heard it before. I might give it a watch though, just because of the reviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
So go and check it out.
I just want to do a wee check. Police Academy is almost at 5,000 now. So thank you to those that keep checking out Police Academy.
Yeah, thank you very much. What's the ring sitting at?
2.4 thousand.
They were quite neck and neck at one point as well. So I think the Police Academy is kind of put up the front.
Definitely.
Given the time of year it is, the ring might start to kind of resurface and might have to push that again.
Yeah, we should reshare some of our old horror ones. That's a good idea.
We'll do that. Right, okay. So this podcast episode that we are reviewing the USS Callister Into Infinity, which is the follow-up from
the original. You haven't asked me what I'm watching.
I know. I realised I've not actually. Back? Yeah. I realised I've not actually said what we're doing today. Okay, you know what I mean? So
no clear learning intention.
Give it. Maybe I should write it on the board for you, mate, so you can visualise it.
Yep.
So USS Callister Into Infinity is the follow-up from the original one, USS Callister from season 4. And before I get into that, Colin, what have you been watching?
I was thinking he'd abandoned me there. Well, I watched So I was set 2 challenges by James last episode. The first one was to watch. Well, I don't know if James set me this target, but obviously I wanted to watch the original USS Callister and then the sequel that we're reviewing today as well. So I've managed to do that. And my other target was to finish season 1 of Dexter. So I actually managed to achieve that as well. So I watched the end of Dexter season 1 a couple of nights ago. So I think, James, we're hoping to maybe do a wee Dexter season 1 review at some point.
We are indeed. Just a wee. I need to go back and watch. We'll watch all of it, but I'll kind of I've seen it twice now, from start to finish. So I just need to want to make sure I'm asking you the right questions, mate. Because it's good because you've not seen it before. And again, it's just kind of I want to see your kind of raw kind of reactions to different aspects of stuff. So that's going to be hopefully shortly. We'll try and schedule that in. And we'll probably do it as we go, mate. We'll do season 2 eventually, and then we'll just it won't be every week, obviously, because you don't tend to go through them as quickly as I do at times. So just as and when.
Yeah, I won't put too much pressure. I won't put too much pressure on myself.
No, mate, definitely no. That's good, mate. I didn't really set a challenge for USS Callister. I think we both agreed at the time that we'll just watch the first one and then the second one, obviously for the episode. For me, what I watched USS Callister 1 and 2, obviously. Excuse me. I watched Minority Report.
Right.
I watched Signs. And have you seen any of the films?
No, I've not seen those 2. No.
And I'm on the second last episode of the Ed Gein season thing. So on Netflix. So it's have you started watching it, mate? No. Have you said so? If you did,
the wife was watching it, but I've not been watching it. So
it's slow, mate, to the point of I kind of falling asleep. Was the film well actually at the start of the week there, but it's slow and it's starting to pick up. So I'm actually enjoying it now. I'll give it a watch if you like these kind of things. It's quite good in how much I say good as such, but I didn't realise that it inspired quite a lot of the films that are released today type thing.
I heard that part about it, yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho and Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So, all good. What else? No, that's pretty much it, mate.
Yeah, I've been trying to be a lot more focused, obviously prioritising what we're doing for the podcast, but trying to stick to a show. So I've managed to do that with Dexter, and I really enjoyed the end of the season. So it was a real adrenaline fueled ride the last few episodes, which I'm sure you'll remember.
Oh, aye. Unfortunately, going to have to report, mate, that I forgot all about my challenge. It wasn't until last night when
I forgot what it was as well. What was it?
It was Smile.
Right, was it?
Yeah. So I forgot about it, mate, until we were texting last night, and I went, "Oh no, I forgot my challenge."
I was going to watch it this morning. Could always do it for next time.
Aye. So we'll just continue that for next time.
The second one, I gave up on the second one like halfway through, but I enjoyed the first one.
Aye. I'm not saying neither of them, so I look forward to that, mate. Have you guys done a podcast in Smile before my time?
No, we considered it at one point, but we haven't done it now. So maybe that's one we could do at some point.
Yeah, fair dues, mate. All right, okay. So let's get into it then. So usually at this point in time, we ask you, about your history, but we are both Black Mirror fans, so we've watched them all before now anyway. And even though we did recap the first USS Callister before watching the second one, so just to go into a few of the details of it. So it was released on April the 10th, along with the rest of season 7 on Netflix. Director Toby Haynes. I'm sure we've had this conversation before with Toby Haynes, but it's important to note that he also directed the original USS Callister
and episodes of Andor. Star Wars referencing.
I was waiting on that one coming in. He's done episodes of Doctor Who as well. There you go. Writers, Charlie Brooker, obviously. William Bridges, Bisha Kiali, and Bika Bolin. As credited writers for the actual episode. The running time is about an hour and a half. Can't remember exactly the running time. It's about an hour and a half, which is I think one of the longest ones actually. Between that and White Christmas, maybe. White Christmas was.
I don't know if you're including. I don't know if you're including Bandersnatch in that. That was probably around about that as well.
Oh no, I don't know actually. Bandersnatch maybe is.
I was actually thinking about
an interactive part of it, right enough.
A good follow up to this would have been. Did there be updated ranking at some point?
Absolutely, mate.
Even just the top 10.
This might be into it. Who knows? Did I like it? Did I not like it? Main cast. I'm going to just stick to the main cast. So, Kirsten Milotti as Nanette Cole and Captain Nanette Cole. We've got Jimmy Simpson as Walton and Clone Walton, or Good Walton, as my name suggests. Billy Magnuson as Carl Plowman, Clone Carl. Oshie Akil, I'm going to butcher that, I'm sorry, apologise for that, is Nate Packer, Clone Nate, and Malanka Brooks as Elena Tulaska and Clone Elena. We've got Paul G. Raymond as Kabir Dudani, and we've got Jesse Plemons as Robert Daly and Clone Robert Daly. The score on IMDb was 8.1, and the Rotten Tomatoes score was 100%.
100%?
100%. Now, I looked at that and I'm going, that's a bit strange. I've never seen that before on Rotten Tomatoes. But it turns out it's only been 10 reviews. So, that's it. Can only go with what, mate?
Small sample size. There was 2 other episodes in the season that got 8.1.
All right, what was that?
Which, from memory, it was Common People and Eulogy, both got 8.1 on IMDb. Probably worth mentioning that this is our final installment, just for anyone who's watching this for the first time. It's our final installment in Black Mirror Season 7, so we have reviewed the other 5 episodes as well.
And if you're just tuning into this one, go back and listen to the other ones.
Yeah.
And you can see and hear our thoughts for those.
We've kind of been ranking them as we went along, so I don't think we need to do a ranking episode, but we could, at the end of this one, maybe just give our updated one.
Aye. Could do, mate.
Can I just give a wee bit of trivia on Dudani?
Aye. Was he in Star Wars?
No. He was named after Robert Dudani, who was one of the co-founders of CEX, which is the company that Charlie Brooker co-founded, which was also mentioned in the Plaything episode.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Because we realised at that point in time that Charlie Brooker was working for PC Zone, or something along those lines anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't get trivia for this, mate. I've got Easter eggs and things. I wrote them all down because I was looking out for them. Them properly this time. Ones I did catch anyway. So I'll maybe fling them at the end. So USS Callister synopsis. So USS Callister Into Infinity is a sequel episode to Black Mirror's USS Callister, where digital clones of Callister Incorporated employees escape Daly's private simulation and enter the main Infinity game. The digital clones struggle to survive in this new, more dangerous universe. They are no longer invulnerable and must steal credits from other players to live. So, I was really excited about this, mate, to be honest with you. I didn't know that this was, like I said, I didn't watch any of the trailers for Season 7. It wasn't until later on, when you scroll down Netflix, I think we had a conversation about it as well, that, USS Callister was coming back. I was like super excited because USS Callister was my number 1 in the Black Mirror ranking review that we done. So I was quite excited in how this was going to go. How did you feel about it?
I think it was just interesting that it was a direct sequel to an episode, because unless I'm incorrect, it's the first like I know there's lots of Easter eggs and stuff, but this is the first like direct sequel, isn't it, to a previous episode?
I think so, mate.
Yeah.
Don't ever remember it happening.
So I thought that was quite interesting, just in terms of how they would approach that. It wasn't. That was your number one. It wasn't my number one. It was obviously one that I enjoyed because of the sci-fi aspects. It was obviously so long since we recorded it. Why was that your number one? What were the particular things that you liked about it?
Well, I'm a Star Trek fan, mate, Sam. So I was obviously biased towards the kind of Star Trek nature of it all, and seeing that they were going to different planets. It was also a cool kind of premise where they could clone somebody and have them in a kind of mod kind of game and control them and linking it to the real world as well. Like I just thought all the characters played an amazing part in it. It's something I was here from the start of that episode where it's kind of it's almost like a TV show type thing, like a TV show and a TV show. If that makes sense. And you're bought into it. You're like, sometimes in with episodes and films, you take a while to kind of settle into a setting. But here, I was like, oh, I'm all in here, and I was intrigued. Every kind of scene that happened in sequence, I was intrigued by it. So it just hit me at the edge of my seat, mate. To be honest with you, and I really enjoyed it all. I know that it was the number one, man, but I just enjoyed it, man, for what it was. You know what I mean? It was just a really good episode, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. So I did, which obviously had, wasn't really sure about this one because I gave that one such high regard. But aye.
Yeah, just because it wasn't my number one, obviously doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Just curious to what your reasons for were there. Christian Milioti is a big part of the success of this kind of Black Mirror universe as well. She's really came to prominence in recent years with the Penguin, which
Aye.
I've only watched like maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes. It's maybe one I'll go back to one day, but she got awards for that performance, and she's can't not mention that she's the mother as well. So if you know, you know.
Aye. I've seen the Penguin. I've seen one of the first episodes, maybe it's 2 episodes, maybe. I've seen the full thing.
Has me been as big a Batman fan as you are?
Time, mate. Time, as you said before. It's time.
There's your next challenge after Smile then. What's the Penguin?
Aye. I'll do it, mate. But I know she plays Maloney's daughter, doesn't she? So, aye. Anyway, so that's USS Callister. A wee kind of wrap up to what was my number one. So the show kicks off with a kind of recap of USS Callister from season 4. It then moves on to the actual game universe where they're in with kind of rogue players. So the idea is that they're in Infinity and they're having to basically steal credits in order to survive. There's different things that happen in this because we see it from 2 points of view. We see it from the USS Callister's crew, or let's call them the clones from now on. The clones' point of view, where they're in the battlefield and on the planets, and we see it from the player's point of view, where we get, like I think there's like Wrexham fans and things like that as well in there, and they come into the game. So we see them entering the game into this kind of big universe, and they're all kind of fighting each other. Important to note here as well, it's been 3 months since since they escaped the mod from Robert Daly. It's been 3 months of basically stealing and surviving, and the only difference is every other person in the game has got gamer tags, and they don't have gamer tag because they are obviously they didn't have they came into it through the wormhole from the first one. They're not meant to be there. It's illegal. So it's basically kind of pirate kind of what's happening here is, pirate, they're stealing and they're killing and stealing, and then moving on to the next one. The introduction to it, mate, what was your take in the whole introduction to the whole kind of Infinity kind of game where they are surviving, and we kind of see it from their point of view and the kind of gamer's point of view?
I think it was good for setting up the premise because it immediately tells you what this sequel is going to be about. And it was alluded to at the end of the original one that it was going on to the network, going live. So naturally there was going to be other people, but it raises the stakes quite well because it shows that the clones are like they're in danger, because if they get killed in the game, that's that version of them gone. Whereas the people playing it, including the Wrexham fan, they can just respawn. I quite like the humor with the Wrexham fan, because you don't expect the characters to just start speaking like teenagers. Do you know what I mean? It was quite unexpected. Obviously, the Wrexham reference is obviously a nod to the kind of like Welcome to Wrexham and how popular that Disney Plus show has been as well. But I think it was a good way to set it up, and it also links into real life as well, because I'm not a big gamer, but there will be people who, like, there's been well publicized hacks on like the PlayStation servers and things like that. There will be people who have the ability to bypass the rules of a game online and make it difficult for other players, and that's really just like a real life representation of that.
Aye, you're right, mate. It is, and you didn't expect the players to be talking like teenagers. They talk like go see the game last night or something like that. It's quite kind of, but it's like I'm not a big gamer either. I'll sit and play the PlayStation, FIFA every so often. Do you know what I mean? But even then, it's very rare. But I don't sit and talk to people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I used to when I was younger. I'd be on like the PlayStation, the Xbox, whatever it was, and it'd be like,
picture you on Call of Duty giving people abuse online.
Never played it, mate. Never played it. I know there'll be people screaming at the screens now. Never played Call of Duty. My brother, when I was younger, he used to play, was it Gears of War or something like that? He was big in that. But I've never played any of the games. I mean, I played like Duke Nukem when I was like, I went to an after school club at school, and we played like the network games of Duke Nukem and Doom and Unreal Tournament and like the GTA as well, like the first GTA. It was like the bird's eye view. We'd play network games of that, but no, I've never been one for like first person shooters and all that sort of thing. I don't know.
I used to play Call of Duty when I was at school online. I was always rubbish at it.
I don't get it, man. Don't get it.
Do you want to game of FIFA at some point online?
Aye, do you want, mate?
We could live stream it for the pod.
Yeah, we could. We could do that. That's something we can chat about. Right, okay, so it kind of moves on now, and it's basically the idea of, as you kind of mentioned there, mate, about permadeath, because every person that gets into Infinity has lives, essentially. They can respawn in different, they can die and respawn, and all they do is lose credits and stuff like that, but for them, it's the last life. Do you know what I mean? That they have to be very, very careful. The difference is as well that, as the gamers get shot, obviously they go back to their, but it's actually quite it feels real, doesn't it? Every time that person gets killed in the game, they're always like checking their body parts as if like, oh my god, like how like that felt real. But the difference is with the clones is that they bleed in the game.
Yeah.
So that's something that they go, oh, how come you've got blood? And the game is apparently famous for having no blood in the game, but there's a kind of a back and forth between Nate and Nanette. I mean, it's basically says that the danger's too high. There's like 5. I can't remember was it 5 million people? I think, I don't know the actual number she says, against basically 5 of them, and they can't continue, and they just know that they're gonna die at some point. So that was interesting that you were touching on.
Mm-hmm.
moves on to the real world now, and it's basically back in the headquarters of Callister, and we get Nanette walking through, and we kind of see the picture of Robert Daly on the desk, and it's a surprise to Nanette because she's like, "Oh, how come that's there? Like, it happened 3 months ago. Why is it now appearing?" Do you know what I mean? Because it brings back memories for her. Do you know what I mean? Because she was there the night he died, and there's ambiguity surrounding that. But it's all because that James Walton, who is the CEO of Callister, is getting interviewed by a reporter, and it's about the kind of game tag, or the lack of gamer tags on the actual game. And he just basically wants to kind of say that, we are sad to hear about Robert Daly's death type thing. But in reality, he doesn't give a monkey's that,
No. So one of the most interesting parts of the USS Callister episodes to me is the contrast between the characters, like the clones and the real world counterparts. Because the Walton, obviously, you say good Walton, bad Walton. He's such a nice guy in the game, isn't he? Versus the real life, and a lot of the characters have those changes. But yeah, he's only in it for himself and the reputation of the company as well. So as you say, the picture wasn't out when it first happened. It's just only just came out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's the telling me about, I think the clones have had time to reflect a lot, especially Walton. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's obviously a bad guy in the real world, but he's had time to reflect on a lot of stuff, being on the USS Callister, and I think that he regrets a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas obviously the real Walton in the real world, he's not had that self reflection. He's just all in it for the gains, and that's, again, it's when that reporter comes, he asks him a lot of questions about Robert Daly. Talks about the gamer tags initially, about that it's a bug and they're going to fix it, blah blah blah. But he's more interested in Robert Daly, and realizes he's got a legal bit of tech in his apartment, which is the digital cloner.
Mm-hmm.
And then first Walton's like, I don't know, like, this is triggering me type thing. And I did like the quote in here. He goes, he says, we were like Batman and Robin, and he goes, I'm Batman.
Which shows that he always viewed himself as the top dog in the relationship.
Aye. We do see that later on in the episode that how that comes about, but again, it's just it was quite, I don't know, it's quite sad, mate. So it's about how that happened, but we see this to the point of Nanette as well, who Nanette kind of logs into the server, the cameras, to see what the conversation's about, because she's worried about, well, he's going to be asking about the death of Robert Daly.
Yeah.
And she was there that night, so again, she's kind of worried for herself, what's going to come of this type of thing. What was your take on the dynamics between the reporter and Walton?
I think the reporter came in. He came in kind of all smiles and quite personable, but then you seen him just change, didn't you, when he got to the nitty gritty of what he was there to discuss. But you kind of view this guy as like the guy who's trying to bring down the game, but the journalist is really the good guy in this scenario, isn't he? Like, if Walton's been committing all these crimes and using unethical technology, then he is really the good guy. And I like that they went back to, they didn't just let that storyline fizzle out. They went back to him obviously towards the end of the film for the resolution, which I think was quite important as well. I think it was a good way to link the two worlds together. Like the lack of gamer tags, it added a wee bit of stakes, didn't it? And it made Walton want to take immediate action, which ultimately leads to him going into the game as well.
Aye. So, after all this, he's raging because he's got the heat off of the reporter, not only about Daly, but about the whole kind of the rogues in the game that are stealing, and he wants to basically get to the bottom of this. Turns out, because Walton's such a prat towards Dudani quits.
Yeah.
And he
quit by just... He rage quit.
He put a post-it note on his monitor, says I quit. This is where the next, who's also a coder, she steps in and tries to find out who the rogues are, and they go into the kind of complaints kind of forum, if you want to call it that, and where she can kind of view complaints, but at the same time view footage. And there's one of the, when we go back, there's a scene with the clones on the planet, and there's a lassie who's dressed in pink, like the pink ranger from Power Rangers, with the braids like Predator and all that sort of thing, and she's got a massive gun, and they're chasing each other around, and she's recording that whole thing, where you can see Nanette's face because her helmet's all cracked.
Yeah.
They're talking as well, and then that gamer dies in the game, but then it gives them enough time to go back to the ship. But she's recorded that whole scenario. When the real world Nanette comes in, she sees that footage and she can see that, well, it sounds like Nate, and it's definitely her. So she takes that information back to Walton, and he goes, I found out who the rogues are, and he goes, who? Again, but his mannerisms and his, like, who is it? And he's bouncing a tennis ball off the wall, off the glass. He's not caring. And he goes, oh, it's Nate. And he goes, who's Nate? Again, that's a running joke. I mean, who's Nate? And he goes, who? Oh, the coffee guy. And he goes, the coffee guy, he's fired. And, you know what I mean? And he's like, that's not the only thing. It's me as well. And it's like, how is this? And then she starts to get into the whole situation where, back to the previous episode, where, I think Daly's up to no good. They made digital clones. He made clones me, Nate, and he says Tommy as well. And he's like, Tommy's my son. What did he want with my son? So it starts to kind of bring a wee bit more kind of, what is Robert Daly doing? Well, he calls him Bob. What was Bob doing?
Yeah.
So it kind of made you start to think about, maybe something's going to happen here, because he's mentioned Tommy, his son. Is he going to turn good? You do see a change in, don't you, at that point? A slight change, not a big change, but a slight change.
But he outdoes that as soon as he gets into the game, doesn't he?
Aye.
Just got a wee bit of trivia on the Pink Power Ranger, as you mentioned. So it's not an episode I remember that well because it wasn't a season I particularly liked. But she's listening to a song called On a Roll, which could be a New Rangers song. Which is a song by Ashley O from the Rachel, Jack and Ashley 2 episode.
All right.
And apparently there's also a picture of Ashley O on the streaming service that's on her computer as well.
I missed that Easter egg, I must say.
I didn't. I never claim these. I find them after the fact.
Right,
anyway, we haven't really talked too much about the kind of. So really, although it's got the Star Trek cover and it can be quite lighthearted in a lot of ways, the USS Callister episodes, at its heart, it's really dark, isn't it? Just to go back to the original revelation in the original episode of the fact that Daly's been making clones of his co-workers from their coffee cups in the trash. It's quite a scary prospect because we're getting we're getting to a place, and we often talk about this with Black Mirror, we're getting to a place where a lot of these things could actually happen in real life. And it's like, how would you feel if there was like a digital version of you, like in a game, and when you, with VR technology and AI, like look at all these AI like reconstructions of like events where they've made people say things they didn't actually say, and it's, we actually are there where something like this could happen. And it's just, you feel a wee bit of sympathy for Daly with how badly treated he was by Walton, but it obviously doesn't excuse how he gets his revenge by trapping these digital versions in a wee world and then torturing them for his own pleasure, you know?
Aye, I think we'll touch on that at some point, mate, as well. I mean, how did Robert Daly get to be Robert Daly from the first USS Callister? Aye, I mean, it's just it's definitely no a good thing what he does, but you can't help but feel sorry for him a wee bit later on.
Because there was something in the news just last week. It was the child of Robin Williams was basically, people were making like AI recreations of Robin Williams, and one of his kids was like raging about it in the news, saying like, you think it's like a good thing, but it's like a horrible thing to do. So these things are happening right now in the real world.
Well, AI has totally took a massive leap, isn't it? Like, can do crazy things now, and what's the boundaries? Do you know what I mean? When do we stop? Where do we stop? This is, you know what I mean. So all these things in Black Mirror are thinking of, you know, potentially could happen.
Black Mirror's like The Simpsons predicting the future. Oh, that's what I was going to say, actually. Walton as a boss reminds me a wee bit of Mr. Burns, how he never remembers people's names, and he forgets that he fires people and all these kind of things.
Aye. To be fair, I don't think I'd like him as a boss.
No.
So the net tells him about they're in the game, blah blah blah, and it's like, right, look, let's go into the game then. So they go through the Robert Daly's kind of stuff. It's still in the office. You set up his computer, and they can get into the game. So at this point, Walton goes, "How do you play the game?" It's like, seriously, don't have to play your own game. Like, he's not interested in playing it. He's just interested in the money. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's don't care in how the game's played, how you do things. It's just the balance sheet at the end of the day. So they go into the game, and I did like this bit, because when they enter the game, it's just like the white suits with big massive helmets, because it's like your first ever, you know, skin of a computer game. All these people who have got like different weaponry, different art, you know, suits and things like that, they've all got enough credits in the bank to buy more skins and all that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I did find it funny that their attire is just a white suit with a stupid big helmet. Do you know what I mean?
It's like a traditional astronaut, isn't it?
Aye. So it's good that way. I should mention as well, at this same time, when this is happening, that on the USS Callister, they realised that Walton, who did get, you know, vaporized by the blasters in the first one, is somehow alive somewhere in the game. Tiny atoms have scattered through the wormhole or whatever, and he's still on a planet somewhere. So at this point in time, they go, well, we need to find Walton. It's been 3 months since we've seen Walton. We didn't know that he still existed, because they somehow find his quarters are still there, even though they should be gone. But I don't know why it's taking 3 months to notice that that's there. And then at the same time, they kind of go to the same planet, so they converge with one another. So the real life Walton and the net go to that planet, but at this point in time, the clone of the net is down on the planet trying to find Walton, the clone Walton. And this just reminded me of Castaway, mate. You seen Castaway?
No.
No, Tom Hanks. I don't know why I ask you if you've seen films, mate. I really don't know, but I
I
guess
know. I
at
know who
some point
Tom.
a
I know
pleasant
who Tom
surprise.
Hanks is.
I know who Tom Hanks is. I'm glad you do. But this film reminded me of Castaway, because Castaway, Tom Hanks is left stranded in a plane crash. He's on an island himself. He had the long hair, the beard, and all that, and he had a wee volleyball that he called Wilson, because it had Wilson on the volleyball. But here we've got Walton, who comes off. He came back for me, blah blah blah. She's like, "Let's go back to the ship." No, I can't leave without Rocky. And Rocky was basically a carbon copy of of Wilson from Castaway.
Right.
The only difference is that Rocky had a bit of a a thing at the back of his head.
Which was won't get into it massively, but it was an inconsistency from the first episode.
That's true. Yes. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. So, but remember, at the end of the last episode, they did realise that all body parts were available. They did say that then, so I'm guessing
you can upgrade.
Yeah, I'm guessing. So after that, after they broke away from the mod, that their the body parts were reinstated, shall we say?
What did you make about this part of the film? Like, see the fact that they brought Walton back because like a tiny fragment of him was out there. I felt like it was a wee bit too much of a plot convenience just to bring back the character, because when they first made that episode, they probably didn't know they were going to do a sequel. It was obviously because it was really popular. I felt like there was a wee bit too much convenience going on at this particular part of the episode, just to think critically.
I think that he's probably two things. I think A, that he was a popular character, and B, that he had to be on board the USS Callister in order for them to realise that Daly was at the heart of the Infinity.
No, I get all that. I'm just talking specifically about how they brought him back. Did you like how they did that, or did you think it was a wee bit too much of a stretch?
I don't know. I've seen it before. I've seen it with Doctor Who before. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else we could have done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, but
I just think if they'd known this was how they were going, they probably wouldn't have killed him off.
No, I mean, no, not at all,
in the
mate.
past, you know?
No, I wouldn't have killed him off. But again, I've seen it happen before. Do you know what I mean? But if they did, I don't think they would have killed him off, to be honest with you. But they found a way to bring him back, which is
somehow Walton returned.
Right. So the two, both of them, Nanette and Walton, of both real and clone, are on this planet, and they come together. They talk to one another. Basically says, let's come back to the ship. Again, I think Nanette is quite. I don't know. I think she's quite surprised at how assertive she is. Like, she's, she looks very capable. She does kind of say that on that planet. Where Walton makes a joke that, what am I wearing? Do you know what I mean? He's obviously very vain, and what the hell am I wearing? They all agree to go onto the USS Callister, onto the bridge, and they talk about the struggles and all that sort of thing. But at this point in time, we've got active betrayal, because Walton sees the gun, and his immediate thoughts are that he wants to wipe out the rogues in order to save the game. So he takes out what's his name? Carl, is it? The guy who was the monster for the first one? Carl.
So he'd been transformed into a monster in the first, because when I first seen him in this episode, I was a bit like,
who's he?
Why is this guy here? Why is he important? I wasn't a big fan of his character, to be honest. I don't think he added that much.
He didn't, mate. But it was funny at one point, because I'm a Metallica fan, and it was like the big ship was outside. There's a big M on it. And he goes, we are fans of Metallica. And he's like, all right, what's your favourite Metallica track? And he's like, what's that song called again? Exit Sandman. And he's like, no, it's Enter Sandman. So that was the only kind of thing he did. So, I mean,
you not think they could have managed without him though?
How do you mean?
Do you not think he could easily have not existed and it would still have worked?
Oh no, I thought you meant they couldn't have managed without him. Like, what do you mean by that?
No.
No, yeah, no, I could have. He just had to die, mate. Do you know what I mean? For the
I think it's important to note for later on that they spend a lot of their time watching TV shows.
Yes, in
in
particular, it's
in their downtime.
aye. So was it watch the Housewives of Atlanta or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. So I don't know why that episode, that TV show in particular, but I must have some reference to. I mean, I don't know why they chose that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there are thousands of TV shows. I don't know why that one's important. I didn't do much digging on that.
I think it was just meant to be something that's like an easy watch that would be quite humorous for some of the characters to be into. You know, something they wouldn't traditionally be into.
Aye.
Love Island or something.
I know you're a fan of Love Island, mate, aren't you?
Watched a couple of seasons.
Aye. So basically he kills Plowman, Carl Plowman, with a big pink gun. And then Nanette kind of roundhouse kicks him, deals with him, and just basically shoots Walton. And he obviously he's back in the real world. At this point in time, if anybody else had known how to play this game, he would be back on that ship and causing it again. But he's no, because he doesn't know how to enter the game at all. He's lost his wee nubbin thing, so he doesn't know what that is, and he just doesn't know how to resume the game. So this gives basically the net time to go back into the real world, to exit the game, and to basically steal all the tech, and then leave the headquarters before he can come back in, which is an important thing because they know he wants to kill them all. And then a tragedy happens. She leaves Callister Incorporated, and in the middle of talking to Walton with all the tech, she gets run over. I tell you something, I didn't expect that to happen. What did you think?
No, I didn't see that coming either. She's obviously like the main character in this one. I would say Daly's probably the main character in the first one. She's the main character in the second one. You obviously knew it wasn't the end for her. I suppose even if it was, she was still in the digital realm as well.
Aye. So he's all before she gets run over and things like that, he's offering her all sorts of kind of like pay, the same way he does to the Danny later on. Do you know what I mean? Like his way out is by paying people off. Do you know what I mean? Like in order to do things. But she's run over. Main character gets run over. Didn't expect it whatsoever. He takes the equipment and goes back up to the office and tells people to phone an ambulance. This kind of leaves us then back to the USS Callister, where Clone Walton is given the backstory of how him and Daly met, Robert Daly met, and how Infinity was created essentially, and he was the game's architect. So I actually really enjoyed this wee story, mate. I actually found it quite sad. I found that it's good to get a backbone of how they met. You don't really hear it before. In the first episode, he basically tells him that he's got he's sitting on a gold mine here, and he's pushed him to his limits on how to create all these planets, all this content. He gives them a wee flavour of how to access the game. And he's in the game. It's so realistic. He's just seen pound signs at the end of this, and he just really uses them, doesn't he?
Yeah. There never really seemed to be a time where they were close as such. It's always been pretty one-sided. And it was interesting to see this other version of Daly as well.
Aye. It was he just looked so innocent, didn't he, Daly, as well? He was talking about He's
Up to a
finishing
point.
milkshakes and things like that.
Up to a point, he has his breaking point.
But this is before the breaking point. Because
Yeah.
this is still the Daly and Walton aspect. He's drinking milkshake and he's getting pressured into making more planets and things like that. He's not meeting deadlines. It's quite pushy. And then Robert Daly's like, well, there's only one of me. Do you know what I mean? I can only do so much. There's only one of me, and that gives Walton the idea of cloning them. And if there's more Dalys, then more content can be created, and it can be done quicker.
See, on the topic of milk, the milk that they use in this episode. It's the same milk that kept getting stolen in Betty Noir.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember this from the USS Callister, because I saw the milk he drinks as well in his flat or his house is the same milk as in Betty Noir. So again, good consistency throughout there. So he's telling the story to the crew on USS Callister that he used. It's actually him that brought in the digital cloner. So linking back to the first scene of that episode, well, he knew all about it all along. He knew what it was because he was the one that gave it to him.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting.
Yeah, because you view Daly as the big bad, really, don't you? But in reality, it was Walton that set it all into motion.
Aye. And so, as this is happening, we've got the real Walton, he's phoning up to Danny, ask them how to log back into a game, give them pay rises, and it's quite funny. Danny is just like, come on, man, this is the most basic functionality of the game, and you don't know how to do it. So I mean, he's just kind of ripping them, and he's like, well, and he asked him a question as well before the scene cuts, and it was obviously how do you watch something happening, or how do you make invitations? Because he had to go back onto the ship to basically impersonate Walton, and basically invite all the other gamers to attack the crew to wipe them out. Because if he can't do it, then he's going to get everybody else to do it.
I think there was
what?
Some of the invites. I don't know who these people are, but people listening might. Tommy's in it, and Dan DTM are apparently famous YouTubers, and they were part of the invite sent out. And also, one of the players we see pilot a ship later is Papa Insedu, who's been cast as Snape for the new Harry Potter show. He's one of the pilots towards the end of the episode.
Right.
So that's just a wee bit of background on some of the invites.
Aye. So as the invites are happening, basically what happens as well that Nanette is down on the planet where Daly is in the heart of infinity, and so she is in the garage where Robert Daly is. Now we've seen Robert Daly, but we've seen him obviously in the past. We see him again in the current present timeline, and the garage door opens, and it's like the godlike, like the light shining and all that sort of thing, and she's just watching him work away. He's doing things like with the technology. He's making planets, and has the power of just getting floppy disks, just coming straight to him without picking them up. What do you call it? Telekinetic powers. And he's like put them onto the floppy disk drives and all that sort of thing, which is good because using retro tech, I like that as well. And then have a conversation. So he's got the powers. I mean, he's using the floppy disk and all that. He's putting it onto the computer, Love the retro tech. But then we've got he sees her and he's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And all that. I'm Robert Daly. Shake hands. Obviously, Nanette is very apprehensive about all this because the last time she met Robert Daly, he was also a bad guy. You know what I mean? What he done to her and all that sort of thing. But she can't get that version of him out of her head. But you can see he is different. He keeps on saying, "Oh," because she tells him about what he done, and he goes, "Oh, that's not me. I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy." And he can't believe that this happened. And he says, "I think James Walton took advantage of me." And he did, absolutely did. Do you know what I mean? And everything about his presence and the way he speaks is all very innocent now. You can see around his garage, he's got all the kind of the space fleet comic. He's got all the figurines and all that. Similar to you, mate, and your Star Wars stuff. Do you know what I mean? You probably got all the Star Wars stuff about your room, haven't you?
I'm nothing like that guy.
No.
There was stuff on his the comic book. At this point, you could be forgiven for believing because he fooled me that this version of Daly was a good guy. Like he did seem very different, but obviously it starts to unravel further down the line. I was really surprised to see him. I didn't expect to see him. I thought he was just going to be like a kind of background presence, like his memory and his legacy impacted this episode, but I was quite surprised when we actually seen him again.
Aye, same here. I thought it would do some flashbacks, to be fair, but not in the grander scale that it was. So the reason why Nanette is there, and we're speaking to Daly, is to kind of free them from this Infinity game, and to basically have them on a separate server where it's quieter and there's no noise in terms of fighting for their lives. So he asked them this, and he's like, "I can do that. It's no problem at all." But he asked her a question. He says, "What, do you not just want to go back?" He said, "What do you mean go back?" He says, "Well, we go back to the real life you and rather than be here." Because Nanette knows at this point in time that the real life Nanette is fighting for her life because she's in a coma, and this appeals to her. So he gives her a choice, which is very Matrix-like. He wants to upload a consciousness to the real Nanette's body and then bring her back to life, but it'll erase the crew, or create a new private universe for the crew, but Nanette remains trapped in the game. So the real life Nanette will die, basically. So she's got a dilemma, a choice to make. Very much like the Matrix, the colour of discs they were. Did you like it to that?
Not initially, but yeah, I see why that comes to mind. It's an interesting question, isn't it, about the importance of the digital life forms and whether it's okay to sacrifice them for the real versions. What's your take around that? Do you think digital beings should have the same considerations as organic beings?
Well, it's hard to say here. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, unless we're put in a situation like that when we speak to people, do you know what I mean? It's different if I spoke to my digital self, then it brings a sense of reality to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh my god, this is real. Whereas they ask me now that I don't know that person. Do you know what I mean? But if I was put in that position, then they're real, aren't they? They bleed. Do you know what I mean? They like us. Do you know what I mean? So I would essentially doing that. You're killing them, aren't you? You're sacrificing yourself to kill them, which is.
But those people are still alive in the real world as well.
But they're not the same people.
Yeah, that's true.
Are they? They're different people.
That's right.
And she's and Nanette on the USS Callister actually bonded with these people for a lot longer than they should have probably done in the real world and known them a lot more. So she's gained a real closeness and affinity with them. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just about killing.
Yeah.
a bit of a cliche here, but you're kind of killing your family a wee bit, aren't you? Because you're spending it every day, all day with them, because that's the point of it here. But I mean, I don't know, man. I would personally, again, pick what she picked. So she wanted to save us, save the crew. But then he goes, it's just a test. You know, he links it to Space Fleet, because this is what one of the people in Space Fleet done. But it was a test, and she picked the right one. But what if he could have both? And he just uses his magic to have the two discs in one. And he's like, I'll take any bother. So he's doing his thing, and then it's like, I'll just copy and paste. And then she's like, but you mean cut and paste? And he goes, no, copy and paste, because you're going to stay here. So she's saving the crew, but she's staying there.
It's a funny joke, because we both teach like IT to S1 and 2. The explaining the difference between copy and paste and cut and paste is a regular occurrence.
Aye. I'd have been a lot happier if it said Control C, Control X.
Control V.
I'm like, yes.
Just on the previous point, it was about how we were talking about the decision about whether to eliminate the digital cell. So it reminds me a wee bit of Hotel Reverie, where she is it Brandy? She builds a really strong relationship with the digital character, and she didn't want to leave her, or she was sad when she died in the digital realm as well.
You're very true, mate. I didn't link it to that, mate, but you're right.
There's quite a lot of links between the episodes in this season, isn't there? I think they've had quite good consistency in that way.
Yeah, man. I didn't link it to that, mate. But like you say, they built up bonds. You know what I mean?
But I think this shows that although this Daly on the surface appears like a nicer guy, he's still got that sinister edge, doesn't he? When she says she's not seen Space Fleet, and that's when you kind of see him turn, and then obviously he's trying to still manipulate her and use her to his own ends. So
this is where things start to turn here. So he's saying to her that you want to remain here. Now, for him, he's been in that for years and years and years. So he is in basically solitary confinement. Do you know what I mean? He's in prison there. He's not spoke to anybody for years, and he's just sitting doing the same thing every single day. And he just needs company at the end of the day. But the way he goes about it obviously isn't what should be happening. So he's basically, because he's imprisoned, he wants to imprison her. She starts to fight back, and we get this kind of the mirror of what happened in the first episode, where we get the mouth closing, and she can't speak, can't breathe. See that, and then there's a lot of kind of wrestling and all that sort of thing that's happening. She fights back and then kills him with the Bulgarian cutlass that this is referred to back in the previous scene, because Walton picks it up and he takes it off him and puts it back. But she hits him at the back of the head with that, and that's him dying. But with him dying, though, it's basically a trigger for the dead man's switch. So by him dying basically means the Infinity will be permanently deleted, which is a race against time to get all the backups done in order to save the crew and herself. What did you make of all that, mate?
This is like your perfect mesh, isn't it, of sci-fi and computing?
Aye. I mean,
it's interesting that Daly dying is the trigger for the game to end, because it must have been Walton that programmed it to be that way.
Or maybe it's him. Do you know what I mean? Walton could give permission to go down the Heart of Infinity, but maybe it was him. Maybe that was his kind of I don't know, his signature, because the game is nothing without him. And if Walton, he maybe seen through Walton, if Walton tried to take him out, then this was what would happen.
I suppose, although Walton put him there, he still had his own like control of his own actions in that space. Because as you know, Walton didn't know anything about the game or how it worked, so
no,
he probably wouldn't have been none the wiser. But it starts to have that ripple impact in the real world as well with the game.
Yep. So Nanette's getting a wee bit annoyed the fact that she can't just know how to use the floppy disks and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's going on here? And she says, oh, stupid, I can't remember the exact phrase she uses, but something retro tech. But it's all kind of coming about.
You're not complaining about the lack of filing system or something? Label your disks or something?
Something like that. It's,
yeah.
But that's not how he works. Do you know what I mean? It's just he knows. It's like organised chaos. He knows exactly what's going to happen and what he needs for that to happen. Do you know what I mean? So to be fair, I kind of work that a wee bit as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I have get management systems and file management, but in a folder on my computer, I just know where everything is, and do you know what I mean? I don't need it. It's just there. I need it.
You're faking me out here.
I've got like on my work PC, or even my work laptop as well, had like 4 gigs of data in my downloads folder, which is just it's ridiculous. You just take stuff out your downloads folder and organise it. But if it's in there, I know where it is. You know
or once you've actioned it, just delete the download folder.
I don't even delete anything, man, unless I don't really need it. Do you know what I mean? Like everything I download, I technically need anyway for work. I just know.
You can pay me to organise your laptop if you want.
Nah, mate, you're all right. It's organised. I say it's organised chaos, mate. It's fine.
I'm glad we don't work in the same building.
I don't work well with others, mate. So she eventually escapes. She does the cut and paste command, and you can see all the kind of universe kind of crashing all around the Callister. And then we get, what's that?
Imploding.
Aye, like the hatch. Lost. We wake up. I say we wake up, but we kind of see it through the eyes of Nanette in the hospital, and a life saved, and we realise, she's the original Nanette, and the fusion of the real Nanette is taking place. She's got full control of her body, and Nanette, sorry, not Nanette, so the crew can hear are there in her head. The voices are there. So yes, the cut and paste command did work, but the Callister ship and the crew are in a pocket universe. It just so happens to be the pocket universe is in a consciousness. What do you make of that, mate? That was I didn't expect that to happen.
No, it also reminds me of a previous Black Mirror episode. Am I right in saying it was the one with the teddy? Is it Black Museum?
Yes, exactly, mate.
The one with the teddy bear.
Yep.
Yeah. So it reminds you a bit like that. Also reminds you a wee bit. Remember the episode? Is it Archangel? You know, the one when the parent can like spy on their child.
That's right, mate. Through the tablet.
Like that. It's kind of like that in a sense as well. So it's something that's came up in Black Mirror before. Obviously, we didn't know where they would go once the game was destroyed. So I'm not quite sure how they managed or why it worked out that they went into her consciousness.
I think because the game was destroyed, because they didn't anticipate the game being destroyed. They just thought it would be a cut and paste job into a separate server. So they didn't actually anticipate this to happen. But I think because she uploaded the disc at the time of the implosion, that the only state it could go to was to be inside a consciousness. So I think that was the only escape for them. because she was trying to do it at one time.
Like when PowerPoint crashes, and then you get those like recovered files. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Aye. I kind of like that, mate. Aye.
But it was quite, I suppose, a humorous ending. But they're essentially trapped inside her when they were already trapped inside a game, so they've not really progressed much further. Although they do like seem to have like a happy coexistence, just other than when she's going to the bathroom, but when they're watching their TV shows again. But I suppose her life has become their TV show in a lot of ways.
Aye. It's a foreshadowing because they were talking about TV show and they're kind of seeing it through a different lens. So aye. As we kind of get to the end scene, Nanette is watching a news report whilst having them in their head. We can see it from both angles. We see it from inside the USS Callister, but we see it from her as well. And this is where I paused it, mate, because I thought there's going to be some Easter eggs on the screen here.
Yeah.
So
quite a few.
There is, mate. So I noticed about. So I wrote them down here. Oh, I should say, I didn't say Nanette was inside in the hospital of St Juniper Hospital.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
A reference.
How often does San Junipero come up, by the way?
I know. So one of the news headlines was former UK Prime Minister Michael Callow enters celebrity vet school.
When you know, you know.
Season
How
1
weird is it, by the way, have you ever introduced Black Mirror to somebody, and then once they've watched that first episode, you're like, San Junipero was actually the first episode I ever watched because a friend introduced me to it. But then when I went to watch the show chronologically, that like if you suggested the show to somebody, then the pig episode's the first one they ever see.
Yeah, I watched it from the first episode. I was what's going on here.
I'm glad that this season's been a bit of a renaissance because I liked some of season 6. I thought season 5 was pretty rubbish. So I feel like season 7's been a bit of a return to form in a lot of ways.
Aye.
Compared to the previous 2 seasons.
There was one headline on the news. I couldn't get the full thing, mate. It said found in a plane wreckage, but I got no idea.
I've got it here. Mysterious talisman. I think. Do you know there's one Black Mirror episode I've not watched yet? It's one from. I think it was one from season 6. It wasn't Maisie Days. It was the other one.
Is that one Loch Henry? Is that season 6?
That Loch Henry was season 6, but it wasn't that episode. There's one episode of Black Mirror I have not watched, which I will need to go and watch at some point. So that title I've read links into Demon 79.
I can't remember that episode, mate.
That's the last one from season 6.
Right.
So that's what that one links to.
All right, that's what I explained, but I can't remember it then, mate. But I couldn't see the full news. I was like, trying to pause it and like, I seen him as found in a plane wreckage, so I was like, I don't know what this is.
Did you get any other ones?
The other one is Thonglets 2 launches to critical acclaim.
That's your Plaything reference.
Plaything. That was good.
I can't believe that's an actual game you can download.
Aye, I haven't played it yet, right enough. I downloaded it.
I'd be too scared to play it in case it took over.
The other one I seen was Hotel Reverie reboot hit Streamberry.
That's right, that links 2 episodes. So the Joanna's Awful one as well in season 6.
Yep.
And there's one more.
I don't think I got that one.
Rivermind CTO steps down, so that links to Common People.
Ah, yes, aye. Right, good stuff, man.
So yeah, there's quite a few there.
I'd be interested to go back to the garage of Daly as well to see if there's any kind of posters linking to other kind of like maybe Bandersnatch and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? There must be something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a cover of one of the magazines. So one of the Space Fleet comic books has Waldo from the Waldo moment on it. It has the kind of emblem from the White Bear and the robotic dog from Metalhead.
It's a good episode, that Metal
Can
Metal
you
Head.
pause it? Could you pause it at 120? One of my cats
Yeah.
is meowing at one of the doors. I just want to let them out.
Okay.
Sorry,
It's all right. We start at 21.
Buddy is extremely loud when he starts meowing at a door.
So I totally missed those Easter eggs on the comics and things like that. I was kind of thinking of it in his garage. But there's quite a lot of Easter eggs in this one then. So
I do love the Black Mirror verse they've created though. I like reading about all the Easter eggs references.
Aye. Yeah, that's good, mate. So the news, obviously, the news was on because James Walton has been arrested by the FBI on multiple charges, including digital human rights abuse. And he's been on the run for a while as well. It said, and it kind of finishes off when Annette kind of assuring the crew that she's working on a solution to get them out of her head. But in the meantime, they have a deal with Nanette that they'll close their eyes in the bathroom and all that sort of thing. They won't look, and they get to watch the TV show they've been watching, which I think is the Housewives of Atlanta.
See, if you were stuck in somebody's head for the rest of your life and you could watch one TV show, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one, mate. That is a tough one. Obviously, Lost is my favourite TV show of all time, but do I want a Lost that's quite sad? Do I want something funny that I can link to? Do I want something like How I Met Your Mother? It's got a good blend of humour, like a good blend of kind of seriousness to it. I don't know, mate. It's a tough one. Off the bat, though, I'm just going to say How I Met Your Mother now. But
I think something with quite a few seasons is a good shout because it gives you more to watch.
Aye, well, definitely, mate. I mean, like, there's 9 seasons of How I Met Your Mother, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 9 seasons of Suits as well, so I'd maybe say Suits. But How I Met Your Mother's a good shout as well. Dexter's maybe a bit too hyped up.
Aye, I could go Entourage as well. That's quite good. That's got maybe quite a few seasons. Can't remember how many there are. I don't know, but I don't know, mate. That's a good question. So
interesting to see what our listeners would do. We can maybe stick that on Twitter as part of the promo.
Could, mate. Aye, what for that?
That's a bit of a spoiler though for the episode, I suppose.
So the episode ends there. Them watching the program, and it's over. So, aye, it was an hour and a half, almost as long as this episode of Sci-fi Cinema. Before, I'm going to let you go first. What are you going to give it? What sci-fi star are you going to give it out of 10?
Speak some words so I can think for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
All right.
because I feel like it's a decent sequel to the original, but I do think I preferred the original episode. I think just because that introduced the concept of the digital clones and the TV show and all the kind of relationships. I felt they built on that well, but I think I still preferred the original. There was a couple of bits. We talked about the character. I think Amber's woken up in the background there, really. We talked about the character Carl, who I thought was not really up to much. I thought there was a wee bit of the, what's the word? Like plot convenience with bringing Walton back and them all kind of ending up on the same planet as well. I thought the bit with Nanette and Daly was good with the kind of choices and things like that. I thought the idea of having the clones not having the gamer tags and the impact. I think it showed a good impact from the game into the real world, and I liked seeing characters kind of going between the real world and then back. And I'm not sure how I feel about the ending with them ending up inside her consciousness. So there were a lot of things I liked, but then there were a few bits I wasn't as sure of as well. I do think overall I preferred the first one compared to this one. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on the kind of original versus the sequel as well.
Well, as you know, mate, the original was a 10 out of 10 for me. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
This episode was very close to it. Very close to it, mate. I understand what you're saying about the kind of plot convenience and all that sort of thing. I get that, and it didn't really bother me as much. It didn't bother me that Carol was killed and he was pointless and things like that. I really enjoyed bringing back Walton. I thought it was needed. To say, he was a bit of the kind of comic relief a wee bit throughout the whole on the USS Callister, so it's good to see him back. I did like the reintroduction of Robert Daly again and the interactions between Walton and how Callister and Copy came about. It was Walton that brought in the digital cloner. The whole backstory was good, mate. And then again the story kind of plot where you kind of feel sorry for Robert Daly because he is imprisoned. He was treated badly, and that's how he kind of became the person he was in the real world. Do you know what I mean? Like he was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ethics involved. He was treated badly, but ethically, but then he used that to treat other people badly and why they're in this situation in the first place. The ending for me, I understand. I get it. It's like trapped in the consciousness of one person. It kind of maybe hopefully opened up for a third installment.
Charlie Brooker said that he's open to bringing it back again.
It would need to be very good. It would need to be very good. Be a proper.
Do you think a sequel was? Do you think a sequel was necessary? Like, are you glad they did it, or do you think you prefer just kind of fresh stories each time?
Well, I'm glad they did it. I enjoyed I enjoyed the first. Second, I mean, I understand as well, mate. I mean, like sequels are never as good as the first one. Like very, very rarely. We've discussed this before many a time. Sometimes it's not needed, but I think because it's so popular, I don't think it was a bad episode at all, mate. I'm going to give it a. Sound like Gary Neville there. 9.9.
9.9.
9.9. Now, the reason why I'm getting 9.9 is because
I didn't think we did points of. I thought it was just 0.5s we did.
Oh right, okay, mate. Right, I'm going to go 10 then. I'm going to round up to 10. I'm going to get 10 out of 10 alongside Callister, the original. Both of them are on point, mate. So
this is your Star Trek blinkers, I think.
No, mate. I generally think it was brilliant. I generally think
it's funny because that highlights. Well, we'll get into it. I think we should do not detailed, just literally the numbers. our overall ranking for the season. It's only 6 episodes, so I'm pretty sure we can riff it just off the bat.
All right, okay, I'm putting a spot here, mate. I can't remember what I gave that last
I'll
episode.
go first then if you want.
Right, you go first.
Okay,
We'll do it.
I'll go
one each.
I'll go last place, Betty Noir.
I would agree with that, mate.
Because
Betty
the
Noir.
ending, I liked it up to a point, but then I thought if they hadn't went down the sci-fi route, it would have been a bit better. 5th place, I'm going to go. Plaything, 5th.
Plaything, okay.
Yeah, and then I'll go Hotel Reverie 4th. USS Callister 3rd. Eulogy 2nd. Common People 1st.
All right. I will go with.
That's just like off the top of my head. That's
Aye. Off the top of my head, I'm going to go with. How many episodes was there? 6. Bet Noir, 6th place. Eulogy, 5th place.
Ooh.
Hotel Reverie, 4th place. Plaything, 3rd place. Common People, 2nd place. And then USS Callister, number 1.
Cool.
There we go.
There you go then.
So that's us done a ranking, and
I'm proud of us though. We've stuck to the job. We've done all 6. So.
Yeah. So, okay, so we are doing what we're doing next. Is it my film choice?
Either your film choice or Dexter season 1.
Leave it with me, because I'd like to get your thoughts on Dexter season 1. Where it's still fresh in your head, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pick a film as well, mate. I don't know what films I'm going to put here, but
have we think about it?
Aye. So I've did a wee thing, mate, as well. I know you like to give the 3 kind of titles of the podcast.
Yeah.
So USS Callister, The Infinite Loop. USS Callister, Infinite Copies. USS Callister, Beyond the Callister. I don't know, mate. I just quickly asked the AI and they came up with them, so I might come up with.
If I was to pick, I would say the second one.
Infinite Copies.
I think a title something to do with kind of like, is it as good as the original, or was the second one necessary? I think that could be something that could capture people's interest.
Aye. That's it. Just have the AI, mate, for a quick
thinking it loud.
Title, aye. Right. I'll think about the films as well, mate.
Any challenges for me for my last week of my holiday? So I've completed Dexter's. A movie would be good this, because I'm going to keep watching Dexter, but I'm not going to watch the full season in a week. So if there's any movies that you would suggest or anything like that.
Well, because I mentioned it, mate, on the start of the episode when I was watching it, I challenge you to watch Minority Report.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It stars Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg as the director, so that might appeal to you more then.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep your one from last week, which was Smile.
Aye.
But also 2 hours and 26 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, Minority Report.
Oh, you can watch it in 3 seconds, mate.
No. Am I right in saying you still haven't seen Get Out?
No, I've seen Get Out, mate. Is it the one with the boy for Black Mirror?
Yeah.
The 50
maybe I was
credits or something like that.
I was maybe thinking of somebody else then. Sorry, I got that one wrong. Yeah, Smile for you, Minority Report for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then whatever else we decide.
So we'll finish up then. Again, just you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Facebook. You're already watching us on YouTube or Spotify, so if you can go back, listen to other episodes, and give them a like, and if you subscribe to the channel as well, that would be brilliant. Just smash the button. Not too
Don't
hard
smash
though, you'll beat your phone.
That's what I was gonna say.
And again, you can comment as well, which would be handy. You could comment on Spotify as well, and you can listen to us on all good podcasting platforms.
And you can also let us know what TV show you would watch if you were stuck inside James's head for the rest of your life.
Aye, we'll do that then. So
Probably a Bigfoot documentary.
It's a good shout, mate. But again, I want something I could laugh at as well. Do you know what I mean? I want to feel different emotions.
Simpsons would be a bad shout because there's like 40 seasons that would keep you going for a few years.
Aye, could be, mate. Anyway, you can let us know. We get to the end of this episode, mate, and you can let us know in the comments. But I'll put it on Twitter as well, okay? Right, we'll finish up there. So I'm James. I probably wrote an essay on it. Paul has watched Into Infinity first, and then USS Callister. And Colin?
I've not seen Space Fleet.